So we have just reached the end of our Disneyland Paris vlog series.
Well, we reached the end of the holiday a while back.
Yeah.
You probably should have filmed this a bit sooner.
Yeah, we probably should have got the vlogs out sooner, and we probably should have filmed this sooner, but we're new to vlogging, so we're learning as we go. But this is the first time that we've done this kind of a vlog. We're going to give you an overview of our Disneyland Paris September 2018 holiday. So just to give a little bit of context behind what kind of trip it was, we went for 3 nights and 4 days. We stayed at the Hotel Cheyenne and we went on the Eurostar from Ebbsfleet, which is in Kent. So we have come armed with all of our questions so that we've got a little prompts that we're going to go through, and yeah, we're just going to break down our holiday and relive it all over again. We've loved doing the vlogs, haven't we? And we've had so many nice comments and yeah, so much positivity on the
and
vlog.
even if none of you are watching, I've enjoyed watching them myself.
Yeah, we've enjoyed them, but hopefully you have too. But yeah, we've really enjoyed them. So, how we booked our holiday and who we booked it through.
Which you actually nearly forgot. We had a discussion for about 5 minutes earlier trying to remember how we did it.
Yeah. So, we booked through Magic Breaks, which is part of Thomas Cook. And yeah, so partner of choice for Thomas Cook, and we booked our package through them, but we didn't book our transport. So what we did, just went online, had a little look around. I think the main reason that we picked them actually was they were the cheapest. Yeah, we did a bit of digging. We looked directly with Disneyland as well, and yeah, we just went for the cheapest, as you would do. Then we booked our travel separately. I think I've been to Disneyland Paris a few times and I've always booked it separately just because I found that it's been a better deal. What we had to do was we couldn't get direct trains to the Disneyland park. They only run on certain days. I think it's like Thursdays and Sundays. It's because we were getting on at Ebbsfleet. If we'd gotten us in Pancras there all the time, I think, because the stop at Ebbsfleet is quite unusual on the high speed going to Paris. There's only a few trains a day. What we ended up doing was getting on at Ebbsfleet, getting a train to Lille, Lille Europa, and from there we had to transfer to a SNCF. We booked standard class for those, but it was really roomy, really comfy. We had little footrests, we had a two to ourselves with a luggage rack behind. It was a really good experience. We were on the Eurostar for, I don't know, just an hour and a half maybe. An hour and 15. An hour and 15, and then we had about 40-minute stopover, and then it was another about an hour and 10 minutes I think from Lille, and with only a couple of stops. The train that we were on is actually normally like the train that you get if you fly into Charles de Gaulle and then go to Disneyland Paris. So overall, like, it was really easy. I think we were a little bit, I suppose, nervous about the fact that we have to change trains. It isn't that really smooth one-way connection, but there were so many people who were also doing the same route that it was sort of follow the people wearing Disney stuff, and that sort of saw you well. Yeah, and everyone was really friendly. Yeah, everyone was really friendly, really helpful, and like a Disney brotherhood. Yeah, everyone is really friendly. So we got talking to a few people, saying, "Oh, are you going to Disney? And this is what we're doing, and oh, we're getting a connection too. We'll look out for each other to make sure that we're going the right way." So it was really nice. Did we want to mention coming back? Because obviously coming back, we went into the other Lille station. That's walk across to Lille Europe. Yeah, that's a good point actually. So one thing to be really careful about when you book your tickets is whether you're going into Lille Europa and getting your transfer from there, or if your transfer is actually from just the standard Lille train station. They're only about a 10-minute walk from each other. It's really not an issue. Yeah, it's clearly signposted. You won't get lost, and you find droves of people from one to the other. Yeah, doing exactly the same thing, but it's just something to be careful of, especially if maybe you've got quite a tight turnaround in terms of meeting your trains. You also have to remember that even coming back from Disney, you have to be at your Eurostar half an hour before your departure time, so you really just have to be mindful of that when you're thinking of the trains. But yeah, so 2 top tips there. Keep an eye on the station that you're going into and that you have to transfer in case you have to walk from one to the other, and also leave plenty of time. Then in Disney, we entered into the train station that's at Disneyland itself, and which is actually just right at the entrance to the Disney Village. So really, really convenient. We could have got a bus to our hotel, but actually it was such a nice warm day. We thought, you know what, by the time we stood, waited for our bus, and it's gone round to the hotel, we probably could have walked there quicker.
Yeah.
For our holiday, we just really didn't need it. So yeah, we walked to our hotel. We got to check in. We got in early. Check-in is usually from 3 p.m.
I think it was fairly said.
So we arrived, I think, somewhere around midday, 1 o'clock. So our hotel room wasn't ready, but we got checked in by the loveliest cast member. What was his name?
Ignacio.
Ignacio. Is he Spanish? Or
He was in
yeah,
Spanish. He was
Spanish. One thing that I had forgotten about was actually how tight they are on security. So we walked into the reception, and straight away we were sort of like told to wait because we had to be frisked, yeah, just to obviously like a security procedure before we could even get into the queue. The queue was quite long for check-in.
Yeah, well, it seemed to take a while, but
yeah, I mean,
I can't remember why.
I think it was just maybe volume. There was a lot of people who'd been on our Eurostar and like done the same connecting train.
I think there was a lot of people with questions, like lots of, because in all fairness, our check-in time was really quick once we got to the desk.
Yeah.
Whereas a family before us seemed to take forever, but I think they were spread across about 5 bookings.
Yeah, so I suppose it's just luck of the draw. But for a midweek in September, I was surprised as to how many people were there and how long it took. However, when we got up to speak to Ignacio, really lovely cast member, he checked us in. He told us what room we were going to be in and what building it was in, and it was exactly where we had asked to be put. So we made a special request on our Magical Breaks reservation to say, if possible, could we please be in a hotel room that was closest to the park, so closest to the walkway that we'd be able to then get to the park.
Not that we're lazy.
No, it was just want to be in the Magic Kingdom quicker. So that was honoured. It isn't always honoured, but my advice 100% would always be to ask, because if you don't ask, you don't get. And
Precisely.
I've been really lucky, or we were really lucky, that actually it was honoured and we got a really good room. But yes, it wasn't ready. However, he also noted the fact that we must have put this on the booking as well, that it was my birthday. So it wasn't my birthday when we were actually there, it was a couple of weeks before, but we were sort of celebrating my birthday. And he just made that really extra special, didn't he? He, without us even asking for anything, he'd got the special celebration buttons. Or the badges, sorry, we're not in America. The celebration badges to say that what we were celebrating, and they also had a little surprise in which we could choose a special gift that we could have as a sort of, oh, you're celebrating something.
Normally give it to children, but
yeah, he was like, this is usually for children, but would you like it? And we were like, yeah,
it's free.
It's free. Yeah, we'll definitely have it. And you could choose from loads of things actually, but the main sort of present items were a key ring, I think a badge, or an autograph book.
Yeah.
So
I think there was like 8 options, but
yeah,
they were like the 3 that we were. It was a bit of a toss up between, wasn't it?
Yeah, but in the end, and if you've seen our vlogs, you'll know that we went for the autograph book, and we've started to collect some of the character signatures. So it's quite a nice little memento to have, and it was free, so it's a bonus. We had to wait for our room to be ready, but that didn't mean that we couldn't go off and enjoy the parks. You get these little keys now, and they're almost like keys to the kingdom type cards that they used to have in Florida, but basically it's like your access all areas. So it's got things like your dining credits that you get, and we'll talk about those a little bit more in a bit. It's got the entrance to your room, and it's also your pass to enter the parks. So really, really important that you keep hold of that. So we were given that, could drop our luggage off at the luggage area, and we could then go off and enjoy the day, which was great. We didn't have to hang around, and we just came back later on that night to check in. What did we think about the resort overall?
I really liked it. I love the theming. Really well themed. You literally do feel like you're in the middle of the Wild West. You've got like, we stayed in the taxidermy building.
Oh yeah, we did, didn't we? Yeah, it's so the Hotel Cheyenne is.
Don't worry, there was no taxidermy inside, so
yeah,
there's no dead stuffed animals. You're all good.
Yeah, before you think, oh, that doesn't sound like the most pleasant. Yeah, it was the cowboy themed hotel, and it's all recently just had a massive facelift, so it's got a lot of Toy Story elements to it. But the theming was incredible. For a value hotel, I was really impressed with the theming. I mean, I know that it's standard for Disney that their theming is incredible, but you just felt really immersed, didn't you? They all had, it was all individual buildings, so it wasn't one massive building like you find in a lot of hotels. It was lots of smaller 2-story buildings all around, yeah, like a cowboy Midwest town.
Yeah.
So it was great. And as I say, just even though it wasn't on the main lake, which is where the sort of more deluxe-y type hotels are, if you want to compare to sort of what they class them as in America, it was still only an extra 5-10 minutes if that walk, so I mean, it really wasn't.
We could have gone for, because that was a value resort, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So we could have gone for a moderate resort, but actually the end of the moderate resort was where we came onto the pathway.
Yeah.
So actually we could have been at the corner of one of those resorts and actually would have been no closer to the park.
Yeah, exactly. So
if you get a preferred room, I would say preferred room, what we would have called a preferred room, because it was right by the corner, actually you're probably better off standing. I mean, I like the bed in there, but
yeah, well, we come onto the room in a little bit. So yeah, that's the resort overall. Thumbs up. Had a Starbucks there as well, actually.
Yeah.
We didn't use it, which for me, avid coffee drinker.
So you can't see the Starbucks mug in the corner.
Yeah, no, but yeah, we've already been to Starbucks today. Yeah, for me that's quite unusual, but it was good to know that it was there if we wanted one. It had a convenience store and it had a bar. Did have a restaurant, but we never used it. And I think it had like laundry facilities and things like that.
Yeah, there was definitely a laundrette.
The only thing it didn't have was a pool. We didn't have time to use a pool anyway, but that was just one of the key differentiators as well between that and the, say, moderate or more deluxe type properties. But overall, theming was great. All the facilities that we needed. Staff were nice. It was clean. So yeah, thumbs up. I'd stay there again.
Yeah, I would.
So yeah, looking at the room, so we've already touched upon the fact that we got the room in the location that we wanted. We were down the far end of the resort, closest to the pathway to take us to Disney, so that was good. Otherwise you could probably easily add another 10 or so minutes onto your walking, just if you were at the other end. Not the end of the world, it's a nice walk, but when you've spent all day walking around the parks, I mean, how many steps did we get up to some days?
We averaged about 30,000 steps a day.
Yeah, so those extra probably 500, 600, 700 to get back to your room that was the other end of property would have been making a difference by then. So we were really happy with where we were. As I say, the resort is quite spread out. So our room, yes, as you've mentioned, we were in the taxidermy building. It had another name. It
was like building 10.
Yeah, building 10, but they had like Doc Martin or Billy Joe and things like that. I can't remember what ours was called, but anyway, we were on the ground floor, and yeah, we overlooked the courtyard area, so when you open the windows you did really feel like you were immersed in the theming. I really didn't want to overlook a car park, or I didn't just want to overlook a bush. I know to some people the view from your room doesn't matter, and that's completely fair enough, but for me, I like my view.
We did not want a car park.
Yeah, we did not want a car park view. Like, for me, I just want to...
Takes away the magic.
Yeah, I just want to be immersed in the magic, really, and I think that if you look in the car park, you just, I don't know, you're out of that Disney bubble, and so our room was perfect.
Minus the only issue we did have a bright light. Like the lamp.
Yeah, there was a lamp outside of our room, wasn't there? And you could tell that the people in the room before us, or could have even been before that, had the same issue where the curtains didn't completely close. So there was like a little slit, and because there was that bright light outside, they'd actually pulled them together and put like hair clips on the curtains, which they'd left. So that was very useful for us. Yes, thank you. Yeah, so that was the only issue. It probably would be good for Disney if they would maybe dim those lights at night or turn them off.
I understand why they were on, but yeah, when it's right outside your window, it wasn't ideal. Yeah. But actually really didn't bother us as much once we clipped the curtains closed. Because actually the curtains were actually really quite good.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they were. They were like blackout ones. So the room itself, it was pretty standard, but we were in a Texas room which has been refurbed. I think all of the Hotel Cheyenne has now been refurbed. So this was as of our September 2018 trip. They'd all had this facelift, and they were really nice. They were basic, but had everything that we needed.
Yeah.
So they had wardrobe space. They had a safe. They gave us a couple of bottles of water.
Some chocolates.
Yeah, some chocolates.
Coins.
Obviously bed. It could have, I think there were different configurations of the room, but we had a bed and a chaise lounge.
I see what you did there originally. You were going to be a Bez lounge.
Yeah, I was going to Bez lounge. No, we had a bed and a chaise lounge. We actually have a room tour video, so you can have a look and see what our room looked like, and we will insert the link here if we have learned how to use that feature by the time we edit this video.
Did you want to mention the bed? Because the bed is a bone of contention for a lot of people, we've noticed.
Yeah, so, and we talk about this in some of our vlogs, but yeah, the bed. We've watched a few of our other like favourite vloggers who go to Disneyland Paris, and there is definitely a bit of a toss-up between thoughts on the bed. So I personally felt the bed was rather uncomfortable. It was really hard. I mean, I was exhausted.
It's good if you've got a bad back.
Yeah, I was exhausted, so it didn't really matter. I just crashed out. But I personally thought it was quite hard. But I know that you...
I quite liked it. Because I was hoping it helps with the snoring as long as I'm on the front. I don't normally roll over.
Yeah, he's a snorer. Do you know, I can't even remember if you snored.
I think I did, but I think that's because I ended up on my back at one point because I had numb arms and then fell asleep before I could roll back over.
Yeah, possibly. But yeah, so just be wary of the bed. Some find it really uncomfortable, some find it comfy, but yeah, I've heard a lot of reviews just say, gosh, that bed.
Yeah, if you don't like a hard bed, you probably find it uncomfortable, and for the sake of 4 nights sleep, you might want to look elsewhere, I would guess, because I don't think they've got options to have softer mattresses. Yeah,
that's a fair point actually. If softness or comfort of a bed, and it's all personal preference.
Because some people like hard beds, like me, I would happily sleep on a bed regularly, but I know other people, if the bed's a little bit too hard, they just toss and turn and not get any sleep. And Disney is not a place you want to be if you're not sleeping. So I would say if you need a bed that isn't hard, probably look elsewhere. But if not, actually the result other than that is lovely.
Yeah.
And I would recommend it.
Yeah. Okay, so we have briefly touched on this, but getting to the parks from our hotel. There were 2 options, so you could either get the coach or the sort of bus transport which picked you up from outside of your lobby, or you could just walk, and for us, hands down, best thing to do would be to walk. So it took about 5 minutes-ish to walk from our hotel room to the security checkpoint at Disney, downtown Disney, and then from there it was probably a good 10-15 minutes walk onto the Disneyland Park or to the Walt Disney Studios, depending on which one that you were going to. So yeah, all in all about 20 minutes from door to door, which I don't think is bad.
No, and I would have said by the time you'd got the bus and waited for the bus, it'd probably be longer.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you, like I said before, if you're carrying lots of luggage or you've got lots of children, then actually it's probably safer and easier to get them onto a bus and get dropped off at the front door.
Yeah, but if you're happy to walk, then I totally would recommend walking. Okay, so yeah, quick and easy, which was good. And yeah, just didn't really feel too much further than those that are around the lake. So I wouldn't, it wouldn't deter me from booking there again. I didn't sort of feel like it added too much time to a holiday. Then finally, and apologies if we are now at a slightly different angle, my camera just decided to...
It got bored of us basically, turned off.
Yeah, I almost feel like that was a sign, but it's really annoying. We've just recorded this whole section.
Stopped right at the right moment, just as we'd finished the section, it stopped. We've then filmed another section which it didn't record at all, but actually it stopped almost at the right time.
Yeah, so apologies if we look slightly different. It's because we've just had to reset the camera and sort it out because it's having a bit of a mare. So finally, the last bit that we wanted to talk about was checkout and the last day at your hotel. So first of all, checkout.
Lack thereof.
Yeah, isn't checkout. They don't actually have a formal checking out procedure at Disneyland Paris, which I was really surprised at. I'm someone who wants to be able to actually, you know, physically go and go, here we go, I've checked out, thank you for a lovely stay. But actually, because your room card is also your pass to get into Disney Park, and it also holds your dining credits, both of which you can still use and exchange for like your meals on your last day, and because our Eurostar wasn't until about 5 o'clock, we still wanted to make the most of the parks. So what they say actually is keep hold of that, just close your door onto your room before 11 o'clock in the morning and you're done, you're checked out. And yeah, it was a weird one, wasn't it?
Yeah, we kind of went to the park and we're still like, you sure we didn't need to check out?
Yeah, so, but there we go. That's, I suppose, time saving. The only thing that we did have to do was take our luggage to store in the big sort of secure luggage holding area, because we didn't want to take that into the parks with us and it wouldn't have fitted on the rides. So yeah, can you imagine us with like a little weenie suitcase trying to go on Space Mountain? So yeah, that was it. It was really quick.
We would have been allowed on that as well. You don't put your bags anywhere, do you? Put between your legs.
That's true. That's true. So yeah, the checkout procedure was really, really quick. As I say, there isn't really a procedure, just shut the door and off you go. So overall, we really enjoyed our stay at the Hotel Cheyenne. I definitely wouldn't hesitate in booking to stay there again, just because it was got good value, it was clean, it was tidy, cast members were really friendly, and it was easy access to the parks. So yeah, all in all, we'd stay again.
Definitely.
That brings us to the end of what is actually going to be part 1 of our Q&A and Disneyland Paris trip review, because it's actually taken us a lot longer to get through just the hotel and transport section, and we've still got food, thoughts on the Disneyland parks themselves, and just a couple of other general bits and pieces that we wanted to share to come.
Yeah, we didn't want you to be sat there for an hour or so.
Yeah, we didn't
looking at our lovely faces.
Yeah, we didn't want this video to be sort of an hour long. We wanted to them. We didn't want this video to be like an hour long. We wanted to make them a little bit shorter. So we're going to leave this vlog here today, and there will be a part 2 and possibly a part 3 Q&A over the next couple of weeks, where we share the rest of our thoughts on our trip to Disneyland Paris in September. So thanks everyone, we will see you next week. See you soon. Bye.
Didn't want to tell you that Eurostar was at 1:30 by Beaver.
Oh yeah,
we got home at 5.
Oh yeah.
I don't need to know it. We're recording still, but they don't need to know.